What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Got another video for you at night because it's way too hot in Dallas to be doing this during the day, not in triple degree weather. So I'm going to be taking you guys through the buying journey of my 2025 Mustang GT. And I know saying journey, so dramatic. So the story starts with wanting to buy a car that was much more powerful than my S550 Mustang. And I know I've talked about this a little bit before in my past videos. Coming from a Camaro ZL1 1LE, I wanted something that would just feel more comparable in terms of power. So when the new S650 Mustangs came out, I was super drawn to them. And I kind of figured that was probably going to be my next car. Now, I was looking at other Camaro ZL1 1LEs, but prices have skyrocketed for those. They're like now well into the 70s and 80,000s. And when I bought mine back in 2020, it was like 58, 59,000. And that's a pretty good price considering what they are today. And if I did go with another ZL1 1LE, I would want one of the newer models, so 2021 to 2023. And those ones even get more expensive. Like some people even have them listed in the high 80s for like sub 5,000 miles. So getting one of those again was not really an option. So that led me back to the S650. And of course, what everybody does to these cars is the Whipple, stage one or stage two. And I thought, that's a pretty economical way to make 700 plus wheel horsepower. So that's why I decided to pull the trigger. Now, getting into the actual buying process of this car, I kind of decided that this was the car that I wanted to go with. So really, I kind of started searching back in April. I did end up buying this car in early June, but when I started searching, I was pretty determined on getting a super good price on it. So I was calling a bunch of dealerships, trying to shop prices. I could pretty easily get 4 or 5 grand off MSRP. But then in June, I think it was actually May, and then into June, Ford's employee discount pricing had finally kind of hit. And at that point, these cars are going basically for invoice. So with this car, I saw it. Kind of fell in love with it because it was spec'd exactly how I finally decided I want to spec this car. And I was able to talk them down a little bit off of the invoice that they had. So MSRP, this car with all its options was around 62,000. Ended up walking out the door before taxes at 53,000. But it took a lot of phone calls. So I probably called, I don't know, easily 30, 40 different dealerships, all within Texas. I'm in the DFW area. So I called pretty much any Ford dealership that had a car similarly spec to this in the DFW area, branched out to Austin, Houston, San Antonio, all those areas, even to Oklahoma. And eventually I found a dealership in Oklahoma that would give me a super good price on this car, especially with this one being spec to exactly how I would want it. I knew I had to pull the trigger. So we did. So getting into specs, I knew for sure going into this, buying a 2025 GT, it had to be a premium. I definitely wanted the leather seats and the monolithic dashboard screen. So at first, I didn't really care for the 401A package or the performance package, but kind of what happened, I sort of got the case of the mine as wells. And the more cars I kept checking out without those two packages, I kind of realized like, you know what, I might as well just get it. Like I plan to have this car for a very long time. Did end up getting a GT premium with the 401A and the performance package. I'll get into it in another video about are they really worth it? Spoiler, probably not for most people. But at the end of the day, I kind of figured I might as well just throw all the options that I was considering because I would hate to buy it and regret it and wish that I had it and not. So for those of you looking to buy one of these cars, I definitely recommend just call as many dealerships as you can. I think that's the easiest way. It's really nothing all that difficult. It just takes time and a lot of phone calls and price shopping. Okay, so to get into my interactions with the dealership, so when I found this car, I gave them a call, did, the typical cliche back and forth, on price negotiation. Finally came to a solid number I was happy with. Okay, cool, let's do it. So they ran a credit app, everything was good. but they came back with a pretty high interest rate. Um, Definitely an atypical interest rate for having good credit. And I asked them, I was like, "Hey, this is just one bank. Like, can you reach out to other, financial institutions and see if you can shop this interest rate?" And they weren't willing to do that. They said, "This is the only bank that we work with, and this is the interest rate you're going to get." So I wasn't comfortable with the interest rate itself, but everything else I was super solid on. So I was like, okay, well, what if I do this? What if I buy the car, I eat your interest rate, and then after the first payment, I go and refinance with my own institution to get that interest payment or the interest rate way down. And they're like, okay, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. I was like, okay, I mean, whatever. It makes my life more difficult. It's annoying, but it's worth it. I really want the car, so I'll deal with the headache, and it's really not too bad. So made the trip to Oklahoma. um, the initial interaction with the sales staff was really, really good. They were super helpful, super attentive, very responsive. Immediately greeted me, showed me the car, took it for a test drive. Definitely fell in love with the car then. But back to the dealership interactions. So sales staff really good, real solid, no complaints there. But then when I got to F&I, and those are the people that after you solidify the sales numbers, they kind of take you back to the back room and try to get you real good. So so with dealing with F&I, they started to get pretty slimy. So initially I told them what my plan was like, hey, you guys are offering a super high interest rate, but I'll take it and then I'm just gonna refinance. And then they're like, okay, well, if we can beat it, would you stay financing with us and you wouldn't refinance? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like easy day. Like I'm going with whoever gets me the lowest interest rate. It was kind of frustrating that I spent like 3 or 4 days on the phone trying to get them to do exactly that. And then when I finally showed up, they offered it to me without me even asking. So I was like, whatever, yeah, we can do that. So they went back, pulled my credit again, and then came back with way, way better interest rates. But I guess the banks they pulled the interest rates from weren't banks that they do like joint lending with or whatever. So it was not something where they could take a buy rate on the interest rate and then make a reserve, charge it up, and give me the sell rate. So they kept trying to convince me to take the high interest rate that was initially offered. I was like, well, no, there's no reason to do that. And they kept offering like perks for like, oh, we're gonna offer you like Ford parts at employee pricing. I'm like, I don't need like brand new Ford parts on a brand new car. So I had a little bit of a fight with them. Finally, just got them to accept that I wanted to do the lower interest rate, of which they would not make a reserve on. And then after that, we got everything finalized, finished up, everything signed, and it's a pretty easy day from there. So after finalizing everything, getting everything signed, doing the drive home, of course, it was a fun drive. My brand new Mustang, going from Oklahoma City back to Dallas. Um, Realized that the car definitely needed a few things. All Mustangs are like skyscrapers. Their suspension when they come from the factory. So got it lowered. This one didn't actually have the active exhaust. I got a new lower valence for it with the that's kind of dark horse styled ish with the quad tip cutouts. So fitted that. Another option is you can use the stock valence. You just have to cut out extra space for the quad tips if you're going to put a quad tip exhaust. Then we did the new exhaust, which is the MBRP Armor Light Black Race Profile. That's a mouthful, but super good sounding exhaust and really cost effective. I think the MBRP exhausts they go for around the 1,000 range, which is a lot better than kind of the other alternatives from Corsa or Borla. Now, granted, I'm betting the Corsa and Borla alternatives probably sound a little bit better. But if you want something loud and still have good quality, I think the MBRP exhausts are one of your best bets. And then also too, the car needs more chin. Every Mustang does. So he threw on a front splitter and then got the windows tinted. And that's where we are right now. So future plans for the car, mentioned it before. We're doing a stage two Whipple. I'm probably about a month and a half since I ordered. So I'm probably halfway through the build time of the Whipple, hopefully shorter. But once that gets delivered, we'll get that installed. And again, DSG Performance is doing that install, and then we'll be ready to go and have a lot more content, 700 plus horsepower content for you guys. So thanks guys. So let me take you through kind of a quick video-ish of the buying process of my 2025 Mustang GT. Definitely gonna have some more stuff coming for this. Um, Again, it's a new channel. You guys are probably new here. I'm not gonna tell you guys to subscribe. All right, I want to make sure I earn that. As long as you guys get value from my content, that's all I care about. So thanks guys again, and see you in the next one.